All right. I almost forgot that this was time for me to do my YouTube video. I have been very busy working on the Northridge earthquake story. And, oh goodness. These are Brent's earrings that he got me. Yeah, I finished it today. It came out to 30,957 words. It's no wonder it took me so long. There was just so much that I had to cover. There was, it's so many things happened in the time period of this story from the end of November 93 till the time of the Northridge earthquake. The Jesuits and Brent were all picking up. Basically, what was going on in November 93 to January 94 is there was a big legal battle between Brent's attorneys and Paramount Studios. And apparently there was a Yale-trained lawyer working at Paramount who was heading up a lot of the, I would call it the Jesuit opposition to my long-distance relationship with Brent. And I was a married woman at that time, and I didn't know it, but I was married to a Jesuit agent. So the Jesuits had a pretty strong position at that time. Yeah, it's really, really hot out there, so I go for I'm trying to find the best setting for this. So I go, like right now my window thermometer, like at 2 o'clock it was saying was 107 degrees. It's going down now. It seems like it gets really hot around 1 or 2. It's possible it could be near something metal and it's making the thermometer go higher. So that may be it, but it's hot. It's really hot. Anyways, yeah, I've given myself more time to write these short stories simply because some of them are longer. I'm giving myself 3 weeks. I originally started off with 2 weeks, and I wanted to keep it at 2 weeks because there is a television series being made from these short stories. But if some of these stories are going to be 30,000 to 31,000 words, they're going to have enough material, even if it takes me 3 weeks to write the story. Like this one short story that I wrote, I should probably almost call it a novelette, you know. It's like 30,000, 31,000 words almost. There's probably enough in this one short story that they could make up to 3 television episodes. So yeah, you might say you got 100 short stories. I think I just finished this. I lost track. I think it's the 6th one. The number 6. Yeah, the 6th short story, and I've got a total of 100 to do. That means I've got 94 to go, and I'm giving myself 3 weeks to do each one. And I put it all on like a calendar at my website. I have deadlines for each one. I've moved it up to 3 weeks because I'm an intuitive writer and I need time to get in the zone. And also I'm writing an omniscient point of view, so I got to spend a little bit more time in rewrites. I'm finding with omniscient, which is God's eye point of view, I have to go back and reread for clarity because, well, when people read a novel or a short story, they're used to losing themselves in a certain point of view. And that's because a lot of authors they try to limit their point of view. God, this is shadow here. They try to limit their point of view to one person per scene. That way the reader does not get confused. The only problem is I have such a complicated story to tell and there would be a believability problem. Yeah, there would be I'm trying to get the lighting right. There'd be a believability problem if I didn't present the villain's point of view. See, the problem that we have with the villain, which is the Jesuits in our stories, is that they have such advanced technology that they use against those who oppose them, and they have control over the press and control over politics, and they're able to use advanced technology that they get from UFOs, okay? I mean, like, I really do believe, because Brent tried everything, and no matter what he did, he could not keep Lori McBride out of his car and out of his house, okay? She always got in. I figured he would change his locks, he had alarm systems, nothing worked. So I figured she must have had, I would say she must have had, I'm trying to get the lighting right here. I don't have Hollywood lighting, you know. Oh, this is the side that's dark. I wonder if I can move this over this way. Let me see. They must have used what they call, like Star Trek-like transporter technology, which we are using right now, by the way. I'm going to try putting this over here. Yeah, which we are using right now, by the way. And, yeah, they must have had that. And I think that's how she got into his house. Yeah, but because that technology was not known, they were able to get away with all sorts of stuff. Yeah, and that's why it's so important for me to write this story. I need to expose this technology. Yeah. Now, what's interesting about the Northridge earthquake is I do believe that earthquake was sent by Jesus or God, probably Jesus, because this is his planet, and I'm his favorite human, because he was saving my life at that time. And my Northridge earthquake story, which I just went into, goes into that, how God was saving my life by sending that earthquake down. You would have to read the story to know the details. But I am the great niece of Howard Hughes. I believe that Brent figured this out about 1993, latter part of when he got his legal team together. They were trying to figure out, why is Paramount Studios so obsessed with Brent's love? Because he made a whole music album for me, Old Yellow Eyes Is Back, with Brent's love for Gail Schuler. And they did some research on me. And, I'm submitting all my stories to Brent. And I say, if I'm not accurate, let me know, and I will correct it. But he hasn't been correcting me. And you say, how are you figuring stuff out? I'm using my brilliant intuition. I have very strong intuitive abilities. So I'm using my brilliant intuition and getting into the villain's point of view, getting into Brent's point of view. And of course, I knew what my point of view was. And I also kind of wrote a journal in the around 2005 or 6, when my memory was better. And I went back and reread that. And I'm able to determine what had to have happened based on who the Jesuits were, who Brent was, and who I was. And yeah, and the things that I know for sure happened. So I'm able to extrapolate based on the direct evidence that I had at the time, other things that were probably happening behind the scenes that I couldn't see. So I figured out that Brent had to have gotten a legal order, probably from the then California Attorney General, who was Dan Lundgren, okay? He was a Republican, and Pete Wilson was the governor at the time that Lori McBride drug raped Brent Spiner. And then, right when Bill Clinton came into power, the Jesuits started getting more bold. So, but they were pretty bold all along, though. And there were interesting things happening in the Hollywood studios, too. We started figuring out that all the major power players on Earth were obsessed with me. And Brent figured it out first, because I've always tended to have an inferiority complex because of the way I was raised. And he figured it out first, and I believe he found out long before I did that I am the great niece of Howard Hughes. Okay? And I do believe that Howard Hughes was murdered by the Jesuits. Everybody knows Howard Hughes went crazy. And you might say, why? And this is what's going to be so fascinating about Gail, the Complete series, is you're going to be able to, it's set up like a mystery thriller. You're going to be able to find it. You're going to learn why the Jesuits were so obsessed with me. Like, I had no idea. I mean, I knew that God, the Yeah, I prayed for 3 hours because I got a letter from Paramount Studios that claimed that Brent had never contacted me beyond anything, beyond an autograph photo, which wasn't true because I never got an autograph photo from him. I got a letter of kind of like a letter. This was 1990. Yeah, I think it was 1990. Yeah. And then I responded with a cassette tape of Christian hymns. I said, thank you for taking the time to write me. He said, thank you for sharing your thoughts with me. I read them with interest, I think. He said, thank you for your comments about my portrayal of Data. I read them with appreciation. And he said, he signed his name. I don't have that letter anymore because when I was divorcing my husband, I threw it out so that my husband, because I was planning on marrying Brent after the divorce, and I didn't want to drag Brent into the divorce, but he got dragged in anyway because my husband was a Jesuit agent. All this is going to be going into Gail the Complete series. But yeah, I have to make a video because it is that time. I almost forgot because I was so excited because I was wrapping up finally getting it all together. I mean, this has been a really challenging scene to write, and I'm just excited that I finished it. So I've already started doing research for the next scene. So let's just put it this way. They are making a television series from Gail the Complete series. I hear that actors and actresses, I know Angelina Jolie is one of the actresses that's been in it. There's some other big names. I'm really not believe it or not, even though I've got all these Hollywood stars on my marriage list. Actually, I've been very happy with Brent as my husband. I am asexual leaning, so it's like I don't really have the way I handle, you might say, how could you be polyamorous and asexual leaning? Well, an asexual person or an asexual leaning person, not everybody who's asexual chooses to be single. Some of them actually will want to get married. And they'll even have sex even though it's not a big deal to them. I'm asexual leaning. I'm not full asexual, but I don't really have a strong need for sex. It's like, let's just put it this way. I enjoy it if I have a bond with my partner, okay? But because I'm asexual leaning, I only like to do one man at a time. And actually I could be in a marriage with a man and have probably 0 to almost no sex with him, and I would as long as we were good friends and intimate, and like if he was let's say if Brent was asexual leaning, I could probably be happy with having sex twice a year. You can tell I'm asexual leaning, right? So only an asexual leaning person could be like that. And the funny thing is my Gail the Complete series is going to be an exploration of how I found myself as a sexual person and every type of a person, and how I would not be myself because I was afraid. I knew what the rules were in every group that I joined. Like when I was a devout Christian, I knew the rules for the devout Christians. No premarital sex, no drinking, no smoking. The one I joined up with was really, really strict. They believed that if a woman wore pants, you were a sinful woman's liver. Yeah, for a while there, I would say in most of my 20s, I'd say for most of my 20s, I would not wear pants. Yeah, this was the group I was involved with. I believed my place was in the home, so I didn't really train for a career. I wanted to be some guy's dream woman. All this, I'm going to be going into this in Gail the Complete series. And you may say, how could the great niece of Howard Hughes be like that? That's probably why if somebody told me back in 1992 that I was the great niece of Howard Hughes, I probably would have said, oh yeah, right. I wouldn't have believed him. No. not until Brent started helping me find myself. So anyways, it is time for me to make a YouTube video. I've got my hangout tonight. Yeah, the Gail the Complete series. Yeah, I'm really amazed. They're saying that what I'm writing, my husband says he's got a major publisher publishing my story. I don't know how they're doing it. I trust Brent. He's my literary agent. And they've already got, Brent is the executive producer of it. And it's like the biggest thing in Hollywood and in the news. The real news is Gabriel Chana, Fox News, by the way. Everything else is fake news. So, yeah, it just kind of boggles my mind. I'm just writing it because Jesus wanted me to write this, and when I don't work on it, my Gail shield gets weak, and I want to keep Jesus happy. You know, Jesus is a God, so his Bible got canceled, so I'm thinking that possibly Gail the Complete series is going to be the new Bible. Yeah. That might be why the Gail shield gets weak when I don't work on it. Yeah. So you might say, wow, that's an interesting new Bible. It's written like a mystery thriller. Yeah, I know. Anyways, at the rate I'm going, I predict the 100 stories, and it might end up being longer than that, is going to be done around, let me see, I think there's going to be enough to make a 6-year television series. Yeah, with about 26 episodes per year at the rate I'm going. Yeah, I'm working very hard. I'm really, really busy. So, yeah, I just wanted to say that, yeah, if you want to watch it, and I think they're going to start publishing it as a book. What Buddha wanted to do was to create books from the short stories. So there might be a total of around 10 books, and maybe each book will have maybe about 10 stories each, depending on, right now I'm already at 115,000 words into Gail the Complete series. So there's already enough there for a book. And it's possible, if you want to know where you can get the book, or where you can watch the productions, or which theaters are showing it, just go to 00 on cable, or go to my website at gabrielchana.blog, and you can get information about Gail the Complete series. I'm working very hard on it. I'm working as hard on it as I did Silver Skies in the 1990s. And yeah, I'm having to spend a lot of time in research. That's kind of the nature of the beast when you're writing something in the format of a mystery thriller. Yeah, because you got to make sure the plot and the surprises that come up are believable. Brent and I had a lot of surprises in our life. Okay, the more we started learning about the Jesuits, and when we started uncovering their secrets, those were the surprises. Because the Jesuits don't operate in the open. They're like chameleons. They blend in. And that's why they're so effective. And that's why they hate my book, because I'm exposing all of the stuff that they've been covering up so that they can play their game, their deadly game. Yeah, they could win the Nobel Prize for murder. Anyways, let me go ahead and post my video for this week. And yeah, and get ready to do other stuff, because I'm working really hard. It's almost like a full-time job, So